Hi everybody, I'm Ryan Buchema. Welcome back to another EZLynx Live. And today we're talking about Automation Center. You know, since its release, its initial release, we've had multiple enhancements to Automation Center. You know, we've updated the UI. You know, we've made it easier to understand the workflows that you're creating. We've created a workflow dialog box so that you can see if you select this, then this, then this, then this will happen. You know, we've done a lot of cool things like adding new triggers. We've added new actions and new filters. And we've even added, as of recently, templates. Automated templates that help you get to automating. So it takes kind of the initial shock factor out as to, well, how do I set up an automated rule? What do I do? We have pre-built templates that you can select and adjust if you want, or just use them as is, right? So today we're going to be looking at some of the cool enhancements that we've made to Automation Center and talk about how you can get your agency automating. You know, if you think about it, Automation Center really helps your agency reduce the need to have to do what we term as non-revenue generating tasks. So what are non-revenue generating tasks? Well, non-revenue generating tasks, those are those tasks that take you and your agents away from actually growing and being able to grow the business, right? Such as maybe creating a task to do something. Maybe sending a link to Client Center for people to get set up with stuff. Maybe adding a folder to a newly added policy so you can store documents and sort your documents on that policy. Maybe sending a welcome email. You know, all of these things, while very important in order to maintain the relationship with your client, these are things that could be handled through automation. So for example, right before this, I took a kind of a test run of a demo to see what we were going to be doing today. And I manually created a task. I manually started an email campaign to welcome somebody to the agency. I sent out a Client Center link, and then I created a folder for the documents. And that took me a little over 5 minutes to do. So if you think about it, your average CSR, how many new customers do you add each week, each month, right? How many times do they have to redo those actions over and over and over again? Automation Center, the beauty of it is it allows your agents to not have to focus on those things and do it for you, right? So with just a little bit of investment up front in creating your workflows, you can actually save your agency a ton of time so that they don't have to focus on, like we said, non-revenue generating tasks, and instead focus on maybe seeking new business, going after renewals, remarketing some of the customers, maybe handling some claims. They're going to be able to do that with some of these automated workflow setups. So let's get Automation Center pulled up. We want to give you a quick run through of some of the cool things we have, and then I'm going to show you how to actually, we're going to automate something real quick. It's going to be pretty neat. So let's get Automation Center pulled up real fast. To access Automation Center, just head over there. So since Automation Center touches a lot of different areas of the system, different products, different features, to access it, just go to your general settings right here and select Automation Center down at the bottom. There you go. Now, some things I want to highlight real quick before we dive in and we actually create a workflow and then watch it execute, is I want to talk about some of these main tabs. You got the dashboard tab, you got workflows, and then you've got history, right? So this organization is new. This is one of our cool demo orgs that we're going to be using at AppliedNet 2022, October 2nd through the 5th, so please join us. But this is one of the orgs that we have set up the demo out at the actual the conference. But what you can see here is a dashboard of the workflows that have been executed, actions. You can see what your top workflows would be. So if we go into an org that's more of a, let's pull up one of our test orgs that we have here that actually has had some stuff done. We can see a lot more information, right? We can see total number of executed workflows. What's the top ones that they're doing? You know, how many have been doing it for their branch if you had multiple branches. You can even come over to this history tab and you're able to see, this is really neat. What I want to highlight here is if something went wrong. If something goes wrong, you want to be able to know what it was. Well, why didn't that workflow complete? Why didn't that workflow execute? What went wrong there? We provide that information right here. So if you come in here, we'll let you know that, oh, well, this workflow failed because this account that we added didn't have an email address. Oh, okay. And the texting failed because we didn't put a phone number in there for texting. Okay, that makes sense as to why that fails. So this is great because it provides you with a really good understanding of what took place during the workflow. What were the different actions that were fired? Were they successful? Did they fail? And if they failed, why did they fail, right? Gives you a good kind of picture into what's going on. So let's go ahead and head out of there. Let's go back over here to Automation Center. Okay, so if we want to start creating workflows, so that's your dashboard, that was your history, we go here to the Workflow tab. All right. Now you'll see in our nice demo account for AppliedNet, we already have one kind of set up right here. But what I want to do is I want to look at maybe creating some brand new ones, right? Now, one cool thing to notice right when you get here is that we wanted to make it easy to start people on the path of automating. So we wanted to give them some stepping stones that they could kind of utilize to get automating. And that's what these are. What you'll see here are these recommended templates. So if you have a new customer, we have a template already built with triggers selected and actions that like a welcome email and actual task that gets generated. So if we click into it, we don't have any filters, but if we go over here to actions, we can see that, oh, we already have this pre-built task for you with a checklist, when it should be due, who it's going to be assigned to. We also have for the email, one of our templated new customer welcome emails. You know, this is already set up and built for you guys. Now, the question that you might have is, well, what if I want to add an extra action? You know, what if I want to put one of these other actions in here, like send a client center link or create folders or send a text message? You can. Feel free to. Feel free. This is just a template, and you can change it as much as you want, right? Once you get to the final part right here where you have to go in and actually save the workflow, and if we go to the, you can name it whatever you want. You can change it to whatever you want. It's completely up to you. The goal here, though, is it provides you with a stepping stone as to maybe what to do. So let's go ahead and let's cancel out. And what I want to do is I want to show everybody, let's create a brand new workflow, right? Now, the goal here is with a little bit of investment up front, right? Which is some basic investment up front. You're going to save yourself a ton of time in the future, right? So let's go in here real fast. So let's go create a workflow. All right, let's go down, not below these templates. Let's actually go down to maybe in the management system. So we have individual triggers. So if you don't want to use a template, you can always just use a trigger and then create straight from that. So we're going to come in here to all the management system ones. And we're going to go off of any time I add a new applicant in the system, either manually or through a download, it's going to do something. So let's select that one. Now what I want to do is I want to add a filter. Filters are great because they help you kind of really narrow down exactly when the workflow will fire, right? So if we scroll over here, let's say type is personal. So anytime a personal lines applicant is added to the system, what do I want to have it do? Well, I want to have it actually create a checklist. So I would send a task. So, well, let's see here. Welcome new prospect. How about that? How about welcome new prospect? Just take that, stick it right down in there. Maybe we want to have it do 0 days. We want to add a checklist. You know, we may have we might want to be able to put in a checklist or not. It's completely up to you if you want to. If you want to add a reminder, you can, right? But we're going to have this task get created. We're going to set it to important. It's going to be due the day it's created. So welcome the new prospect, right? So that's going to get a task that's created for the assigned to on that account. All right, so okay, that's good. What else do we want to do? Let's add another action here to send an email. All right, and let's go over here to the welcome email. Right, we want that to actually go out. So it's going to send a welcome email as well to this kind of new customer to the system. What I also want to do is I want it to send me a link to go to, Client Center. So this is going to be great, right? Because not only are we going to be able to send a welcome email, we're going to send them a link where they can go and start to maybe send us some documents or start to answer some questionnaires that we have if they're new to the agency with us. We're going to start to get them on the right path we want for in the future. If they do self-servicing, hey, they know to go to Client Center. Here's Client Center, right? So we're going to set that up as that. Click Next. Now what you want to do is go ahead and just give it a name. So this is new prospect, right? This will create a task, send welcome email, and send Client Center link. Choose which agency you want this to apply to. If you had multiple agencies, like if you had branches, you could build workflows for just your branch and then maybe your subs. Completely up to you. We're just going to go ahead and select it right up here at the top. Hit select. Make sure that you click enable. So this is a great thing. Maybe you're building a workflow and you get a phone call, Oh, I gotta go talk to this customer. Well, you can leave it as a disabled status and save it and come back to it and work on it later if you want to. Completely up to you, but we're gonna go ahead and enable this one right now. So it's gonna be saving that workflow. What the system is doing right now is it's actually going into this process of actually enabling it. The one that we had created earlier here in our Applied Net demo account is already enabled. The system now is going in and it's actually enabling this one. So if we come back over to here and to kind of refresh, sometimes it takes a little while, and that's understandable. This thing's connecting with our systems, making sure everything's set up, so don't worry about that. What we're going to do here, though, in a minute is we're going to go in, and this is a brand new customer that I just kind of got set up. We're going to come in and we're going to actually create them, right? And then we're going to see it fire off a whole bunch of workflows. So if we come in here and we go to refresh, enabling, still trying to enable. The thing that's really important, like I had mentioned earlier, there's a little bit of investment up front, right? A little bit of time that's required to go in and set these workflows, enable them, get them set up for your org. But once they're set up and running, they'll run. So you don't have to go back in and manually send out a welcome email for every single new customer you add. You don't have to manually go in and create a task for somebody to follow up and do a checklist, or create a task for somebody to say hello. You don't have to do that every single time manually you add a new customer. The system is going to do it for you, which is what's really cool. So let's go back, try again. Let's see if it's enabled right now, if it's good. Yep, enabled, ready to go. So we've got this workflow. It's our new prospect workflow. And what this thing is going to do when I create that new personalized prospect, what it's going to do is it's going to create a task, it's going to send a welcome email, and it's going to send a client center link. All of that is just going to happen without me having to do anything to the agent. So think about this. Think of how many new customers do you guys add every week? How many prospects do you put into the system every month, right? How many times would you have to manually send a welcome email or a client center link or create a task? How much time does that take? Prior to this call, early this morning, I actually got in and I created a nice task, set up an email, put together this really great link to Client Center. It took me about, it took me about 30 seconds to do, right? So if you start adding up that time over time, like how long does that take? How long does that take from an agency standpoint? How much time is spent doing that versus a system just doing it for you and you focusing on other things, right? So let's come into here real quick. What I want to do is I'm going to come down to Michael, right? Make sure that we're all good. Oh, that's how long he's been here. And I'm going to go ahead and save and create this customer. So Michael now has been saved and created in the system, right? This is a new customer. If I come over here to the Overview tab, oh, look at this, boom. New welcome email was sent out, done. I didn't have to do anything, the agent, the system did it for me, right? Same thing right here. It created the task. If I click into the task, there's the task that I created. Reach out to the customer, right? Let's go over here. I'm going to pull up for you guys. I got some emails. So let me pull up this. This one right here. Here is the email that I received from the system, which gives me my link to go to Client Center. System sent that out for you guys, right? It has your branding, your marketing on it if you want. This happens to just, it has ours, right? Because that's our account. And let me pull up the other one. Here's a nice welcome email. It sent a welcome email as well. All of this stuff, it just sends out to you. Now, these email templates, you can personalize them to whatever you want. You can have it say whatever you want, right? The goal here with Automation Center is that it's just supposed to complement. It's supposed to complement what you're doing at your agency, right? So if you think about it, how much time was spent manually creating a task, manually sending out an email campaign, manually coming over here and doing a one-off email to send a Client Center link. How much time does that take for every prospect you put into the system, for every new customer you put into the system? Wouldn't it be nice to have an automated workflow that would just do it for you? That way, you don't have to spend time doing it. You can still build relationships with your customers, still talk with your customers, but some of these kind of, I'd say, non-revenue generating tasks,
the system handles it for you. And what's great is what we saw here is the system is actually communicating not only just with the policy management right here, but it's also communicating with Client Center. And you can get it to push data into Client Center too if you want to set up workflows that way. So very, 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 very powerful tool that we have here in EZLynx.
So remember, Automation Center is designed to be able to work with your agency's standard practices. A lot of agencies who have been really successful at implementing Automation Center have basically, like I said, merged it in with their SOP. So for example, you could think of Automation Center as this extra body in your office who's helping the office maintain SOP, right? It's not designed, and there's a lot of questions around, well, if I'm automating emails getting sent out and a service is sending them out for me, what does that mean from a personal touch from the customer standpoint? Doesn't that take away from it? And I would argue it doesn't, right? I would argue it doesn't. A great example of that would be an employee of mine recently had a birthday. And what she was really excited about was the fact that the very first person who wished her a happy birthday at 8 a.m. was her insurance agent. Now, I'm pretty sure that the insurance agent didn't send the email at 8 a.m. Maybe they did, but I'm willing to bet that it was more of an automated service that did that for them, right? But at the end of the day, my employee was still really happy, and she brought it up in a meeting as I was really happy. I got an email from my insurance agent. She didn't question whether it was her insurance agent who sent it. She didn't question whether it was an automated service who sent it. She was just happy that the agent reached out to her. So think about it. Automation Center goes along with what you guys are doing. It helps you guys maintain that personal touch, right? And if it's automating the generation of tasks and sending links, then you guys can focus more on actually reaching out to your customers, touching base with them over the phone, seeing how they're doing. It allows you guys to have more time to do more beneficial work to benefit your customers, right? So we hope you've enjoyed the show today. We also hope to see you October 2nd through the 5th in Nashville, Tennessee for AppliedNet 2022. The EZLynx product team is going to be there, and we're going to be really excited to meet with everybody. We're also really excited to be able to get y'all's feedback on the system, hear what you guys think about it, talk about what we can do to maybe make things better in the system for you. So we really hope you guys attend. If you're interested in attending, there is a link on the homepage when you log in, and right now we are running a special rate for EZLynx attendees. So please click that link, get registered, come out October 2nd through the 5th to AppliedNet, and I hope to see you there. We all hope to see you there at AppliedNet. Bye, everybody.